If you keep wasting credits because your AI videos never come out right, it's not because of the tool you're using, it's that you're not prompting properly. The shot might look perfect in your head, but a vague prompt makes the model guess what you left out, and every wrong guess leads to more credits wasted. So, in this video, I'll break down how to properly write a prompt step by step until you can get a clean result on the first try. The main problem that most people tend to do is jump straight into generating with a half thought out prompt and only find out what was actually missing after they have already paid for the bad result. So every failed generation is real money and real time gone, and because it is all up to chance, you either keep burning through credits until you get what you want or settle for whatever the model gave you. That is the real cost of a weak prompt, and it is exactly what doing this properly fixes. So I'll walk you through 3 types of videos that test different skills so you can really understand how to prompt for any scene you want to create. And I want to start with the kind of video where a bad prompt falls apart the fastest, and that is fast human motion. The reason motion is the hardest test is that the model has to invent every frame in between. So the more a character moves from one frame to the next, the more chances he has to lose consistency or make unnatural movements. To show you what I mean, I'll build this inside Higgsfield, which is an all-in-one platform that I'll use to run everything in. If you want to follow along, I'll leave a link to Higgsfield in the description below. Once you log in, you'll notice that every tool sits along the top navigation bar. Since every one of these videos starts from an image, the first thing I need is a starting frame, so click on Image to open the image workspace and pick GPT Image 2. This is the image model we'll use for every starting frame in this video because it's currently one of the best when it comes to both realism and stylized outputs. This way, the only thing that can be questionable when we go to video generation is the prompt. Then I'll set the aspect ratio to 16:9 and type in the exact thing I'm visualizing in simple words. So, 2 medieval warriors locked in a sword clash, blades crossed at center frame, sparks flying. The important part of an image prompt like this is that I'm describing one exact moment, with the blades already crossed and the sparks mid-air, instead of just asking for 2 warriors fighting. Pinning the moment down like that is what gets me a strong starting frame instead of a generic result. That gives me a sharp frame of that moment, and the whole point of starting from an image is that it locks the composition, so if the video comes out wrong, I know it was the prompt and not the starting point. Every version of this runs off that same frame, so from here, the only thing changing are the words we use. Now head over to Video, pick Seedance 2.0, and load that image in as the reference. Before it will let you use it, you need to run a quick eligibility check, so go to Upload Media, then Image Generation, and click Check Eligibility. That eligibility check is just Higgsfield quickly confirming the image is allowed to be used as a reference, basically a fast content and safety pass on the file before it lets you animate it. Once that's done, you're ready to use it anytime you want. So I'll set the duration to 10 seconds, the resolution to 1080p, and the aspect ratio to 16:9. And for this, I'll type a very simple prompt with some keywords people like to use. 2 warriors fighting, dramatic, epic, cinematic, high quality. This is a very common way to prompt, by just describing what you're imagining and then adding some keywords that you think will make the AI understand better. And the reason so many people prompt exactly like this is that the scene is already clear in their own head, so a handful of words honestly feels like more than enough to get it across. Piling words like epic and cinematic on top feels like it's making the prompt stronger, when those are really just mood words that point at a vibe without pinning down anything the video should actually contain. And watch what happens. The swords disappear for most of the fight and then reappear out of nowhere. That is because I never told Seedance how they should fight, so the model fills in the rest on its own and we get something that looks nothing like the one I wanted. That is a reroll right there, and those credits are already gone. So I'll go back and patch the most obvious thing, which is the weapon. In my previous prompt, I'll now add 2 warriors fighting using swords, which again is a very common fix people try to do when their first generation doesn't come out right. Now I actually get blades and it does look a lot better, but the character's motions still feel a bit unnatural and the camera has no interesting movement since I didn't specify anything. And this is exactly how you burn through credits, because I can keep fixing these problems one word at a time as they appear. But every fix is another full generation I am paying for. The real problem is that a prompt like that only describes what is in the shot, and it says nothing about how the shot should actually be filmed. A strong prompt sets a handful of specific factors instead: the subject, the action, the type of shot, the camera movement, the speed, the lighting, and the style, and which of those matter most actually changes with the kind of video you are making. For fast motion like this, it is the camera movement and the speed that matter most, because a slower, more deliberate move gives the model way less room to alter elements. Then there is the one almost everyone skips, the negative prompt, which is just a list of the things you are telling the model not to do. So you take the exact problems you keep seeing and you name every one of them before you ever hit generate to prevent the bad version from happening in the first place. Now, I could write all of that out by hand every time, but it is slow and it is easy to forget a factor. So instead, I'll build the prompt in a tool called videoprompt.studio. With this tool, you paste in your simple prompt and it turns it into a full JSON prompt that's ready to be used, and it gets you high quality outputs so that you don't have to do anything manually. I've left a link for it in the description below. Now I'll just pick the type of video, set it to cinematic so it tunes everything for an action shot, and paste in the plain description we just used. And it hands me back a fully structured prompt with every one of those factors set as its own field, from the subject and the action all the way down to a proper negative prompt. Now back inside Higgsfield, I'll just copy it straight into Seedance on the same reference and the same settings and generate. You can immediately see the difference. This time, the sword fighting looks realistic with dynamic camera movement that makes the whole scene feel far more cinematic and intentional. Every generation was done with the same settings and the same reference image. The only thing that changed was the prompt. Fast motion has always been a problem when it comes to video generation, especially if you have a weak prompt. But the next video type I want to test out usually breaks for a completely different reason. I want to make a stylized anime scene, and the whole challenge here is keeping the style consistent and making the scene feel smooth and aesthetic. A stylized look like anime depends almost entirely on its style cues, the exact era and type of animation. And if the prompt doesn't pin those down, the model drifts away from the look you wanted. So same as before, I'll start with the reference image, so keep GPT image 2 locked in with the same settings. Then I'll write in this prompt that describes what I'm picturing. That last part, the Japanese retro 1990s cell anime, is the most important line in the whole prompt, because that is the exact style the video has to hold on to, and it gives me a frame that already looks like a screenshot from an old anime. Now I'll take that into video with Seedance 2.0 and run the same quick eligibility check so I can load it as the reference. I'll keep the duration at 10 seconds, the resolution at 1080p, and the aspect ratio at 16:9, exactly like the action shot. So once again, the only thing I'm changing is the prompt. For the first go, I'll keep it loose and just describe the vibe. Anime girl eating noodles at a seaside stand, cozy and nostalgic, nice and relaxing. And the style itself actually comes out fine because of our starting image. But the whole thing is one single static shot of her eating that never changes for the full 10 seconds, so it feels flat and a little boring. That's the thing with a calm, slice of life scene. The style on its own isn't enough. This scene is supposed to be full of life and emotion, even though there's no dialogue and stiff animation can't achieve that. So for the second try, I'll ask for some movement between shots and generate. And this already looks a lot better. The scene cuts between a few different angles of her, and that variety is what finally makes it feel intentional. Seedance 2 is actually built for multi-shot generation from just one prompt, so even without clear direction on what the shots are, it can deliver. So imagine how much better it can get with a JSON prompt that's deliberately made to get a high quality result. I'll head back to videoprompt.studio, paste in that same description, and this time turn on the Stylized button, which tunes the whole prompt for holding an animated look. We get back this JSON prompt with all the shots laid out in a full sequence. And the negative prompt matters just as much here, but this time its job is to stop the style from drifting, so it tells the model to stay away from any realistic 3D or photoreal style that would break the cell anime feel. So back inside Higgsfield, I'll copy it into Seedance on the same reference and settings and generate.
すごく美味しい。
And this is easily the strongest of the three. The animation is smooth, the scene moves through those 6 shots, with the timing actually working. The 1990s look holds the whole way through, and it even comes with dialogue. This looks like something produced by Studio Ghibli with a consistent style and rhythm. The last type of videos I want to test is product shots, because they rely on one specific factor we haven't touched yet. A product video depends almost entirely on its lighting and its reflections, because that is what actually makes something look premium and expensive. For the reference image, I'll keep GPT Image 2 locked in with the same settings and just describe the product. A pair of futuristic running sneakers with electric blue accents on a clean white studio background. That plain white background is extremely important because the simpler it is, the easier it will be for the video model to keep the product consistent and the lighting realistic. And those electric blue accents are the one detail I want carrying the whole shot, so naming them now gives the lighting something to catch once the video starts moving. And this looks like a professional product shot taken by a real film crew. So I'll take it into video generation with Seedance 2.0, run the same quick eligibility check, load it as the reference image, and keep the rest of the settings the same. For the first attempt, I'll prompt it the way you naturally would for a product. A pair of sneakers spinning on a pedestal, clean studio product video, nice soft lighting, sleek and premium look. And it comes out looking cheap, the rotation drifts, the cuts feel random, and the whole thing feels very AI generated. The reason is the same as the sword fight. I told it what the object is, but nothing about how it should be lit or how it should move. And with a product shot, you want hyper-realism, you actually want it to look better than real life, and that only happens when the prompt sets the lighting and the camera moves the way a real commercial would. So I'll go straight to videoprompt.studio, paste in my prompt, and this time use its product mode, which tunes the lighting, the reflections, and the camera moves for exactly this kind of shot. And the JSON I get back does something neither of the other two needed to do. It lays out a whole sequence of beats inside the one 10-second video. A dark reveal, the blue light tracing the shoe, a few close-ups of it on a treadmill, then a return to the hero shot. And the negative prompt is keeping the shot from feeling too cluttered, which is what protects that premium feel. So back inside Higgsfield, I'll copy it into Seedance on the same frame and settings and generate. This is incredible. It comes out looking like an actual sneaker commercial, the lighting wraps around the shoe, the reflections stay clean, and it moves through every one of those beats without ever changing how the product looks. So across all three, the sword fight came down to motion, the anime to style, and the sneaker to lighting, and the JSON prompt adapted to each one's needs every time. And that is what prompting properly actually gets you. The video you wanted on the very first generation, instead of wasting your credits on multiple attempts. If you want to make your own professional videos on the first try with accurate prompts, click the link in the description to sign up to Higgsfield. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.